I was really pleased to be asked to. Can everyone hear me? I know my voice is a bit terrible. I was really glad to be asked to come today because when I first heard about the EngD when I was an undergraduate in Canada, I thought it was a really great model for educating applied scientists. I thought it was a great way to keep the research relevant because you're embedding the researcher in an industry. And I was really surprised when I moved to the UK to find that it wasn't really well known in this country. So it's really great to be here and helping launch this association to improve the recognition of what I think is a really valuable model for educating applied scientists, which is what we are. So my research in Rolls-Royce is I'm looking at how people design and how they think about design. And I first became interested in this topic when I was working at Imperial College London. I was working in the Space and Atmospheric Physics group as a research engineer. They make magnetometers in this group, which we put on a spacecraft for both ESA and for NASA. And I was coordinating work among various people across the world. I was attending telecons, traveling all over the place to do stuff. And I actually found it incredibly frustrating to do my job. I hadn't been trained as an engineer in how to communicate with all of these different people all over the world about my work and trying to encourage them to do the work I wanted them to do and that they needed to do for the mission to be successful. It was very difficult to find the information I needed to do my job as a very small little gear in a very big machine. And we had these telecons. Every day there were telecons that would last for hours, and you'd sit there and you only needed to hear 5 minutes of the information, and you only needed to actually speak for 30 seconds. And it was just so frustrating that it shouldn't be this difficult for me to do my job, to deal with all of this complexity. And after leaving that post, I started looking for a new challenge, and I discovered the System Center, and I read their website about socio-technical complexity, and this is the challenge that I was having to deal with working on space missions. Something that I think is neglected in engineering education. And it's a problem Rolls-Royce has as well. I went into the company to start my research, and I started by interviewing engineers there, and they were saying exactly the same things to me that I had felt working for NASA and ESA. And it's been really great taking the knowledge that I've learned through all the people at the System Center and all my colleagues there, and using that to help the people in Rolls-Royce do their jobs easier and less stressfully, and being able to find the information they need. So the big thing about my research in Rolls-Royce is basically systems engineering, but more than that, it's about helping them design better and think better about how they go about design. And so we've been putting together models on how to actually measure how well people are using the system engineering techniques, both early on in the development of products, but also later on once they're brought into service. And it's about, as was mentioned earlier, creating a robust evidence base for improvement activities, which I think is something really valuable about the EngD, is that it takes you into industry and you bring that academic rigor to something that really is very important. So that's all I have to say. My throat is starting to go now. But